Substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. We're using natural sunlight today, guys, because it gets hot in here with that light up there. So, well, yesterday was a mess. I had a real hard time trading it yesterday, and really the kind of action that I tend to have a really difficult time with, which is when it's ranging but there's still high interest. Those are always my worst days. And realized it early on and didn't do too much damage, and traded sim after that and was awful. I did catch a good reversal though. That was fun. But here was yesterday, right? So you look at today, we moved up, but now we're doing the same thing. So some indication that today could be really messy too. In Bitcoin, some indications that the buyers have maybe already worn themselves out. It's a little So yeah, let's pull this over here. And let's grab the links. Yeah, that was yesterday's video. I watched over yesterday's video a lot because that's the kind of action I have a hard time with. I think that maybe pulled some edges out of that, understood a couple of things that I'm hoping we can use today, because today looks like it's gonna be similar. So maybe we get a do-over. Well, the first thing that I see is we are at the bottom of the day's range, relatively speaking, or pretty close to the bottom. So these are the 2 points that they're distributing between. I want to see a move down that creates some stops of some sort. And I mean, I really want to see something spectacular before I want to be trying to take a reversal. That's my plan. So we can take the small swings. But when we tried doing that, it just kept going through us. We need to look for the bigger moves, and it's going to get swingy. Could also see some hard icebergs stopping it, so we can keep an eye for that too. All sorts of stuff about the OIG. Oh, and then there was some tariffs too. Oh. Okay, so that was a pretty significant downtick right there. One that makes me think they might beat out that 17. Why is that downtick significant? So for starters, it is a high volume node, so let's just keep that in mind in the context. But it was kind of sitting at it and it wasn't really doing anything. And then they hit it and they immediately put up a lot of volume, and all three of them did it at the same time. So if you were just watching it out of the corner of your eye, that tick down would really stand out to you. You know what I mean? Like I can almost hear it when it happens. It's like, whoom. They just drop it and it comes down. You can see the 30-year was already testing it, wondering if maybe that was too far. If we were like in a trend day, I would have taken a tick like that as a continuation signal. But because we've been so messy, it's kind of hard to say whether that one will hold or not. Okay, so they ticked up through it. And notice they ate through a lot of volume, but they didn't put a whole lot up. Unfortunately, a lot of these things that I'm pointing out are things that didn't really help us too much yesterday. But I think it's just kind of like the context of things. Somebody was trying to sell it. From my perspective, somebody was trying to sell it, but they're not having a lot of success. Well, okay, so I don't know if that one was on the pit open, but that's another important thing is that the first set of orders that you get on the open can be really significant. Yeah, okay. See, at the moment, it looks like that strong tick was the reversal signal, right? Because they did have a pretty good tick, and that momentum wasn't able to continue through. Now that they've ticked up, I do think that the auction has changed. But it's just not... Yeah. I'm kind of tempted to take it long, but I'm just not... I want to see a stronger signal. We do have news in 5 minutes, by the way, too. It's not really... The thing I find interesting about this chart over here in relation to the volume profile, right? So here was like this bottom. Obviously, we didn't spend a whole lot of time there, okay? They immediately auctioned up. But then this is where we've been. This is the 190, where most of the volume is. And then here's the last pivot. So when you look at it that way, well, we were at the bottom of the range, even though we were like right where all the volume was going through. Like even though we were in the middle of the volume profile, we were at the bottom. We were really at the bottom of this range here. I'm wondering what's going to happen at this 19.5 now, because it's the VWAP and there's a low volume on it for some reason. Are they going to fill it in a little bit, or are they going to jump over here? Because of that 5K that absorbed on the bid, and the way that it's fighting here looks a lot like a level break setup, and some of the orders just pulled. Let's see what the news was. Manufacturing 25 versus 18 expected. That would be hawkish, but looks like the market doesn't care. It looks like they traded through it. A level break at that price is a little unusual, I think. This is, we may be getting a reversal. China to immediately take measures of same scale against United States. Well, I forget where it was at, because I was not quite looking at it when it really went through. I was trying to pull up the news, but that did seem to be the kind of run that I was looking for to possibly reverse. A little interesting that it comes not at the high of the day, though. The location that it happened at, it was a little odd. Because there was a range here earlier in the day. It must have been that. The 21. Was that 21, right? Yeah, at the moment, the momentum is continuing through. Yep. Okay, so there was a new high. A little interesting how it touched it. Yep, they should blow through this. Hmm. Too many people fighting it. Okay. That's more like what I would have expected. See that big order at 25. Do you see one in the others? I don't see them in the others. There's a that at 1/2, 10/2. In ZF, you see how they tick down and it really stacked. Oh, here it is again. They're gonna try hitting it now. Right. This is one of the things that I think makes this kind of day really hard, is that they are breaking the icebergs and they are hitting the 24, but then they get smacked back down. And normally on an as she goes play, the fact that it ticked up and they traded like 50 there almost immediately and they tried to continue the pressure would be like a good signal that it's okay to take, but they smacked it down so quickly that it's not okay to take. In my mind, it's not, at least. I don't know if anybody took a trade off of any of this. Sure seems like okay, so that was a significant amount of volume that traded there. This thing over here in the 5-year really makes me think that we could see a pullback, but I've never really noticed that before. So I don't really know the stats on it and everything. It just seems like, you know what I mean? Seems like it should hold, but I'm gonna hold off because I don't really know if that means what I think it means. Yeah, Swisso says, do not play with the short, there's nothing in the moment. If you're watching, put speed to 2x to get the lowest latency. I get 2-second latency. I don't know what that means. Maybe you're saying if you're replaying the YouTube and you can like speed it up ×2. I like to do that a lot. Especially like certain webinars. I don't know what the deal is, but it just seems to me that a lot of really good traders speak really slowly. I don't think that I speak slowly. I think I've gotten slower over time, but man, some of the best traders that I've met speak really slowly. And you're watching a video and you're trying to pull the information out of them, you can literally play it at like 3 times speed and understand what they're saying and get through the webinar faster. Yeah, they're now reluctant to hit that price. I mean, it feels kind of sucky because we had a pretty good run. I mean, when we saw, hey, there's a strong tick and it didn't go and it turned around. It was like at 90. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ticks up. And it feels like, I mean, this is a trend. This is something that I would normally be taking, right? Okay, so John is pointing out a target in ZB that they haven't reached yet. This guy took a good trade in the E-mini, it looks like. He claims he's doing it on 30 lots, though I don't believe you. Looks like madness today, bro. Yeah, right? Well, the rangy nature of the overnight action already tells you that today could be a little crazy. Now, the question in my head, and the reason that I'm just really stuck here, because I just don't know what the probability of this continuing or reversing is. There's definitely some demand coming in from Europe because the ECB is being so dovish, and the Federal Reserve is like, full bore ahead. And then there's all this tariff stuff coming up off of China. Definitely hit the E-mini late last night. So this could continue to be, catch or stop. But this is also something that could turn into a full-blown trend. To me, at the moment, this looks like it could be a trend day. I have blown through these twice now, I think. So if I get a level break signal at 25, I should take that one. I think Swisso, I think that you type a whole lot for somebody that's saying that you shouldn't be talking and blah blah blah. Maybe you're not actually trading. Maybe you're just a troll. But I'm talking, say what I'm thinking in my head so that when I watch the video later, I know why I did what I did. It does not hurt. Because I know when I see my trade if I want to take it or not. So we are now into the okay, now there's a 10K. So that's potentially tradable, but it's been trending so hard. $12K bought at the high, yeah. If they break that 12K right there, if they break that iceberg, that would likely create a super cascade, is what I think I'm going to call these things. I think it would create a super cascade, and unlike yesterday where these super cascades were reversals, that unlike yesterday where these super cascades were reversals, that's a case where you could let it pull back and you probably could take it along again, because there's going to be way too many people trying to short it off of this. 15 is a lot. Holy crap, guys. There's this 5K right here, though. That's awfully suspicious. Not really getting hit. The E-mini is not looking too hot right now at the moment either. And this move up in Treasuries corresponded to a move down in the E-mini. Who bought the high. Interesting that Tucker is looking for the continuation trade. Okay, so they took that one all at once. What did the orders look like on it? 24? Two big orders hit it, and then the rest of it was small orders. And this big offer, not seeing volume come through here. Okay. That's not going to fill. Can I take 23? Yes. I'm going to watch this one. I was too afraid to hit it. When this one went, I probably should have taken this one. Now here at 23, we're kind of in a spot where if it ticks against this, don't really want it anymore. Let's see what happens. My target is still okay, I think. Definitely see the pressure. Market orders coming in. Absorption there at 23. Okay, they push through it. See this stack, please. No. Okay, now they're trading it. Okay. They tried to tick up and failed. Still do it. This could be a lure though also. So bid looks weak. Offer looks weak here. Unusual. Kind of leads. Okay, and then they hit it and the level 2 didn't change, so I do think that was probably a lure. Now the offer is stacking. The bid is not pulling yet. Okay, Now really stacking, but the bid is still not pulling. And they have not busted through this 09.5. I mean, really high probability that they would break through this, no? And they're not. Okay. So the level 2 here in the 5-year switched, but they didn't actually tick up like the 10-year did. The 30-year is trading a bunch of volume here at evens. Nobody has traded 23.5 yet. Okay, now 30 have gone through. Yeah. Doesn't look too positive either. That 47 is a little suspicious. No, I think that if they get back up there, I think it definitely was, it clicked in too late on that one. Chasing in that situation, I mean, that can still work out, but we didn't really risk too much on it, so I'm not gonna, it's not that bad. Okay. So this is where it's like this 5 years. This is really puzzling to me, to be honest. I mean, that's got to be a lure for it to be that weak, and then they're just not taking it. And you would think even if it is a lure, they would if it's 50, somebody's gonna sell it. It's just. You know what I mean? 5 year can't do it. Sell them all. Well, that tick down is a little bit more encouraging, but we're still like at the same place, right? Because he's saying it's a tough call today. On one hand, you want to get on the possible uptrend. On the other, you don't really want to be the dingbat that buys the highs of the day. Yeah. Well, I think that the probability here is short for sure. I don't know if it's a mega high probability play though. But I think that too many people bought 24.5 and we're 2 ticks lower. And they should be getting out. That's what I think. And what we've gotten is we've come, say, 4 ticks lower or so, and they're not. It's on the edge, but they're not taking it. Nobody's stopping them from taking it, although maybe if they tried hitting it, there would be icebergs there and they would feel had. That seems to be the concern. But really, I'm going to say that we haven't broken the low because they haven't attempted to. Definitely picked the wrong price and I'm feeling a little tilted at the moment. Yeah, that's not good. Mm, okay. Well, the momentum does seem to be carrying through a little bit from that downtick. Nope. Maybe not. Hmm. Hmm. Cumulative delta in the E-mini suggests that we might have a reversal here, though. Okay, now notice the spread trade coming in here. That's gonna Oh, now I'm considering it a buy, yeah. I'm surprised you're not considering this a trending situation, playing it from the buy side. Yeah, but we're kind of experimenting also, right? So I'm not playing this the way that I normally would. I don't see that. What, the 5-year can't buy up higher? Uh, Somebody just bought FYT. And when you look at where FYT is, here. So now we're back to where the huge iceberg was. There's only 1,900 offered on it. They're not trying to sell this. Okay. Yep. That's what I wanted to see. How much of an iceberg is going to be there now? Well, if we break that 24 half, and there is a volume cascade, then maybe it would be safe to sell it. At the moment, though, this looks like there's a very high probability that they're going to bust out. And I like the look it's giving me at 24. Okay. So they traded through 24 half without much fanfare. Is that 6 gonna pull? Okay. A few hundred have come off. Okay. 1,000 have come off. Yep. So 1,000 on the tick up is not necessarily a huge deal, but it did pull off since it's ticked up, so it wasn't like it was just the robots. Probably a couple of people that were thinking of selling the high thought better. Oh, did ZB didn't attack the 06 yet? I totally forgot about that. Okay, so 38.49 bought 24 half. So another potential level break setup. Okay, not a super strong bid there. Hmm. Okay, a little bit better of an uptick that time. Let's get that above 2,000. Well, those guys at 25, even though 1,000 pulled off of it, the rest of them are not pulling out of the way yet. Probably we would need an uptick in the 5-year to really get it to go. May also be the 06, right? 06 and the 30-year giving them trouble because that was the weekly high. Hmm. That 24 is looking weak, but nobody's hit it. A little suspicious. Okay. Mm, it could still go up and take the high. Because it unfinished in ZB is they often take it. Okay. Well, that would be stopping right there. So this is all just practice at this point. And today is definitely not going the way yesterday did in terms of the type of action. So those trades were, a lot of those were shorts, right? 2 of those were shorts. Which was me trying to play range and reversals, so... Oh, interesting. So John thinks that the 30-year wants to go all the way up to 16. Yeah, they stopped there at 23. So the reason I took that was because they went to 23, and then when they started attacking it again, they were fighting it. Okay, so that uptick seemed to cause a lot of drama, didn't it? I'm seeing some spread trades come in, and now they are really, really trying to attack the 5-year. The 5 year in relation to the 30 year is telling me that our probability is decreased. Yeah. Lots of drama here. Look at ZB in particular. Oh, 4402, huh? Right now, it doesn't look good in the 30 year. Like we were saying that the 5 year was selling and the 30 year wasn't. Well, now 30 year is starting to sell too. And a nice brick there too. Nope. Over trading, I think, on my part. Yeah. I mean, they've all been in this range. Taken 4 in this range. And some of them have been at 23, haven't they? Yeah, I bought 23 twice. And gave up on it, even though I should have been able to get 2 out of it. Did that get MFE of 2 on any of these? You. I don't know. Oh, was it that I sold 23 twice? You're right. You're right. I bought this one, and that got to 24. The trade should be, well, I don't know if this is like really like the right spot to do it, because it just feels really negative to me. But I'm just gonna try it. Okay. So it should be 24, right? Yeah. Well, this one might work. Yeah, I think that we have to say, like, we've got an inside bar here for sure. Actually, 2 inside bars now. And so we have to start treating this like it's range bound and not like it's a reversal or a continuation or anything like that. But I'm not positive that it's actually going to work. And I wasn't really feeling it out like whether or not they were going to be trying to break that or anything like that. I was literally just looking at the chart and saying, okay, 23 is the bottom where I know I should be able to get filled, and 24 is the top where I know I should be able to get filled. Okay. That was a pretty good uptick, actually. 5 years. The ES is lit as fuck. I wish it said that timestamp. I don't know when he said that. Well, one of the things that I'm seeing here in the E-mini, just you can't see this chart, can you? So here was this big down move. Okay, they haven't quite gotten a new low yet, but the delta in this has been crazy down. Crazy down. Do I only want 2 ticks on this trade? I mean, no, I want it to break the highs, but the experiment was playing the range, right? Yeah. Wow. I do think I should. Let's cancel it. What if the 30-year takes out that 06? I don't know. So I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at this. I don't think you guys can see it very well because it's in the corner. Well, I wouldn't have gotten filled at 24. So what I've been thinking in my head the past, when I've been doing these ranges, and they never work out, but like the one that I had yesterday that actually went in my favor, it's like this should, well, not this should, but if this ticks up, I want to see them hit into 24.5 and some stacking and stuff. If I don't see them immediately hit into it, or like I'm gonna give it like 3 seconds and then I'm gonna hit into 24 if they don't take it. That's my plan. I was thinking you can either do that. Okay, so some immediately touched it. So I'm gonna hold it. Because the other option is to just put the limit order in, right? Sure, no paycheck is a day trader, right? So day trading is a hard, man. Especially in June. June and July. I really think if I was still on my, like let's just assume that May didn't happen, and like it did pretty okay in May, and it was still doing okay on my account, I would hope that when we came into June, that I wouldn't trade unless it was like FOMC or something. Well, I think that we could get it tick up. So now here's where, based on my plan, I should hold it, right? What should be my signal that it's not going to happen? Well, every time that they tick down, it ticks right back up, and they've absorbed 6,000 now on the bid. It's kind of a slower methodical trade. If it's dead, you gotta blow out 220. If it works, it should easily go through 25, right? That is a lot on the bid. Okay. So, from my perspective, the two problems remain. One, the 5-year is just not going through, is just not getting aggressive. And two, there's still kind of a divergence between the 5-year and the 30-year. Well, I took two. I don't know if that was the right exit strategy. What do you guys think? I saw it tick down and enough went on the offer that I started to get concerned about it. It was like 1,000, so I thought, well, I can still get filled there, so I took it out. And the bid is weak too. Could still go through. I don't know what in these range plays, what's the... I have a hard time figuring out if it's over or it's going to continue. When I say it's over, like, is the range over? Like, are they really going to push it out of the range? Or was that a signal that now it's time to go short and try and take 24 to 30, 23? $10K dumped. Where did you see that at? The amount of contracts short in the E-mini. Let's see if it shows us anything. Oh, there was actually a 3684 right there, is what the big one was. That delta short is just a little obscene. Oh, okay. There was an iceberg in 04. That's a good point, Jack, that I missed. But I can see it now that there was some volume there. I really, is this experimentation? Really think that this one should be like, how do I do this? Like that? I think. I really think that, okay, so you see how it ticked up and there was a big order kind of showed up there in the E-mini and stuff. I really think the E-mini is going to come up from here. But I'm not going to watch it. I need to stay focused on this. How much dumped into 09.5? 3,000? Well, I could take it long at 23 again if I wanted. Or I could have. I mean, that would have filled. Yeah. Basically trying the trade that I just did again. Lame action. Definitely a lame action. The problem, well, it was it ticked through it, so for starters, so that kind of makes me a little bit wary of buying 23 now. But I'm seeing a lot of things that kind of make me think, okay, like just reading the order flow in the delta right now, 30-year coming down, 5-year, almost all of the volume, and well, not all of it, but quite a bit of the volume from the 5-year has now sold into this. And the E-mini has had a huge sell going down into this. And note that they've come up, and so all of these shorts are not getting paid. All these guys down here. I see trapped traders here in the E-mini. That's why I went long there. So maybe what we could do is we could take that one right there. I did see it fight a little bit there too. Okay. Did the other two do it? No, they didn't. That's suspicious. And nobody's trading into 24. My goodness. What do you think about that? So this is the one that we were arguing about like last week, right? It ticked up and there's immediately 5K underneath of it. Is that a spoof? Or is that the buyer trying to push people up? I mean, it's a spoof, but I mean, is it a spoof like a seller is trying to scare people so that they can get filled at 24? Or is it the buyer that just really wants to push it up? Well, it's not going yet. I haven't really hit the 23.5 to see if it's like for real though. Okay, so they ticked up. And it's gone. The 5K is gone now. Domino higher time, huh? So that is the exact opposite of how you would have read that last week. Is it not? At the moment I see the case for both, but they did not trade below the 23.5. I guess you're right, it is a different context. Because that was really at like the bottom of a range instead of the top of a range. Okay, well that range play, I'm gonna say that range play did not work out right. In fact, with this one, I think you could buy, this is the level break. You might not even catch the level break here, in fact. Okay. Hmm. It it gave an okay level break setup, but they probably should have ticked back up to 24.5 again by now. Okay, some absorbed at 24. That's not working. Just a lot of, oh, you would think that it would do this or it would do this, and it's just been sitting here doing nothing. They'd have to trade through 22.5 before you're truly wrong on this trade? No, no. No, no. They have to hit into 23.5, and I'm wrong. Because this should be a look. This is a level break, so people are buying on the limit. People are buying on the limit at 24.5 and 24. There was a little bit there at 24.5 where we got filled. Now they're hitting 24. Sure it does. Let me explain. So if somebody is setting up for a level break, these people that are buying it here are buying it for a look at hitting 25. They're not going to let it go down more than a tick against them. So if they hit 23, the trade is over. We bail. Okay, so there was the uptick and they did not hold it. So now I'm thinking of bailing at 24. Lift. It got exciting there, didn't it? Well, now I'm not able to click out fast enough. Holy shit. I should have put the stop order there, huh? Okay, well I was able to get out with the -2 on it. Now it may actually go and do it. Yeah. You know, it's not often, at least when I've done that one. Well, so hold up. If we're gonna buy this, we should really be buying 23, right? Um, I've I'm trying to think back here. I don't think I've ever seen it do a stop run like that before. Not like that. But I don't think that the stop run was because they broke 24 so much as it was that the E-mini pushed over the VWAP here. I think they were looking for a push at the lows and the funny thing about this is that that may have been the stop run that allows them to take the highs. Am I right? Yeah, I'm trying to play the range here again. Okay. I was about, if they didn't immediately trade there into 24.5, I was going to take it off. Maybe the 100th time is the charm here. It's been here too long for it to be a short, I think. I don't know. Generally speaking, if you come up, you've been in a range for an hour, cumulative delta is still up there on the highs. Probably chances are they're going to take another step higher. I don't have any stats about that or anything, but usually if it's like a reversal, they're going to do it after like 30 minutes up there, right? And actually, when you think about it, when it was like around here on the Vista chart, I've seen a morning range just sit for a full 60 minutes, right? Well, and especially after such a strong trend too, it's just really unusual. But when we were like right here, I think it was, I remember when I was like, oh, there's like a lot of drama in the tape now. So I'm thinking that maybe sellers did try to come in and try to take it down and they just weren't successful. And the E-mini is looking unhappy again. Okay. So 63 gonna pull. Okay. There's about 500 pulled. There's the level break signal again. See the 32? 38. Really clear level break signal now. We're already long. Okay, so a bit of pulling there. They're gonna hit into this. We should pull this. No? Well, shoot. Everybody's like, that was the most anticlimactic thing ever. Oh, snap, really? It just pulled. What's with that? So this one, I've seen this before. And this one can be a little weird and unpredictable. Because when you take a high and it's easier than you expected, that could be an indication that buyers are extending their targets, and it could be an indication that it's a trap by the sellers. Yeah. So the thing that concerns me, well, so for one, CB did not break 06, did it? So that's a critical point. So I think that they could try another push up, but this is where you gotta look at, like, we get this, and maybe they touch 25 half again, and if it ticks down, they're probably gonna put the smackdown on it. If I bet on long, I would bet on a 10 to 15 ticks up before the close. No. Okay, they did take it. Wow, what a push up. Actually could have gotten the 4 ticks on it. So now that was the spectacular stop run. So now maybe you could take it short. Pulled the 25 before getting filled. Wow. Oh, really? I did not see that. The order in ZB at 08 pumped up to about 1,000. Well, so I can see the order right there. But the thing that I'm seeing is that it's not there anymore. It's just like in the Vista chart, you can see that it was there and it's pulled. But here you can see on when they went through, there's a big order at 30. That's interesting that you pulled that, Tucker. I took that one off because I've seen that go both ways, but it sure feels bad now that it went 2 ticks through me, doesn't it? But that's where I'm like, you got to be careful about that one, because if you break a new high and it's too easy, that just means that the seller's stops are up a little higher. So it provides some incentive for the buyers to want to try and push it again. But, you know, I've seen buyers lose interest there before too, so that's why I'm like, I'm not too sure about this one. I've seen them where, they had ticked down. And that one never fills, and they hit it down, and all of a sudden the buyers start bailing. Getting some serious vocal fry here. I need to get some water. I'll be right back. Okay, wow, so we still have a strong bid trying to pump us up. So I feel like I still want to take it short. Whoa, okay, not what I wanted to see. So I wanted to try something here. It was stop limit 1500. So if I click here, it should put yes. Okay. So the idea here is if this pulls, my order should trigger. But it will only, it's a stop limit, so it should only take 25. It shouldn't hit into 24.5. Oh, we're actually only minus, okay. That buy in the E-mini didn't work out, did it? Okay. Hmm. They might actually have enough for another run. Okay, so there's the stop limit turned into a limit order, and it filled me. That's cool. Not quite how I wanted it to trade, though. Look at ZF. While this is going, I should post my cryptocurrency charts. Let's see if it gives me full charts today or if it's gonna do the weird stuff. Still not working. It's really weird. I have to debug that tonight. Okay. Well, I'm not really paying attention and nor seriously trading, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing, but clearly that was like a stop run 2 ticks higher. Hmm. So it's kind of funny well, not kind of funny, but you know, I took that with a stop limit order, right? And that got me in exactly where it stopped. Yeah. Like, so if I'm going to do that stop limit order again, that obviously was like exactly the wrong way to use it. They might have enough to take out 28, but after that, they almost have to have a pullback at that point. This one, I should just yeah. So I think a couple of things. Well, so first of all, obviously over trading. This one was the E-mini, so you can ignore that one. Here, playing the range poorly. So the one that worked, well, really the two that worked were the ones where I had bought it at the right side of the range. So that tells us something for sure. Obviously, this one trying with the stop limit order was a complete failure. And then, of course, there was the whole trend up that we missed as well. But I'm also just thinking, like, there was the tick up where there was 5,000 underneath of it, and it was not on the edge of the range, which I thought was really interesting. So I think that one is a signal that I used to pay a lot of attention to, kind of stopped paying attention to. Now maybe I'm thinking that I just didn't understand the context of it very well. So I could take in the future. And there was the level breaks, although it failed. The level break failed like at least once before they finally actually took it. Okay, so those are probably the trades where I really saw signals and I could have acted, and a lot of this other stuff was just mirages or me just not playing the range correctly. So I think I'm gonna have to give this counter trend playing the range sort of a thing another week. because even, trying to do it, I did a pretty shitty job of it. Here's my reversal. Okay. Okay, so here's one edge of the range. Looks really strong. E-mini is falling apart. Probable recovery here. Yep. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Good downtick. I'll move it there. So I see that there are some big orders there. There's 200, taking even 200. Treasuries still not decided about which way they want to go from here. You keep getting pretty strong ticks both ways, to be honest. I mean, he's making a better push, yep. Almost. I don't know. I still think that it's gonna fill, but okay, so there was a good tick down in the treasuries. Hmm. So there was a little bit of a pull, but not enough of volume went through to fill us yet. Yeah, that volume step there is a big volume step. Oh, come on. Well, I think I picked my spot in the E-mini to get out really well, didn't I? I think actually might have gotten filled at the 2772 as well. But then I wouldn't have an even number profit, so... Right? it wouldn't say 200 there. Yeah, so on this this E-mini, or sorry, in the 10-year, reset this. We're talking about how there's a step in the profile here. So here's what I think about that. If they push through 23.5 and hold it, the chances of them then going all the way back through is pretty high. That's one of those volume profile traits that they talk about that they've done statistics on, that if it gets back, if it moves outside of the value area and then it moves back into it and it stays within for like 30 minutes or something, then there's like a 60% probability that it will trade all the way to the other side, which would be 18.5. So what I'm looking at it right now is that this was the scene of the crime, and that's why they're trying to hold it at 25. Right? This was where that breakout happened. Well, I gotta go, so I'm gonna try and take 25 instead. Let's see, by the way, was there any... Michael Cohen is said to indicate willingness to cooperate. Goldman raises quarter 2 GDP estimate. Dang it. Well, I haven't really been managing this very closely, but I think that I should have market ordered out by now. Yeah. +1. Boo. Okay, well, that was an interesting ending. Don't let that -24 fool you, though. I traded like shit today. Like shit all week, really. But I'm still gonna try playing these ranges. I'm seeing some. So yeah, it's got to be like I don't know. The thing is that a lot of the signals that we saw today were like the as she goes signals, and like, how should I have known that I should have bought there or sold there? It's kind of difficult. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So this is going to require a lot of work. Anyways, I gotta get going now, so I will see you tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. Monday. Tomorrow is Saturday. I'm gonna be playing Quake. Alright, later.